I am Julie. I was 31 years old. I worked at a small flower shop on the corner of a sleepy street. My job was to make other people's lives beautiful for a few hours. I arranged roses for love, lilies for sorry, and daisies for just because. But my own life? It was like a vase with no water. Everything was fine, just dry. My boyfriend, Mark, and I had been together for 4 years. 4 years is a long time to love someone and also a long time to ignore the cracks in the wall. We were comfortable. Too comfortable. We ate dinner in front of the television. We said love you without looking up from our phones. We had stopped fighting. And I used to think no fighting was good. But later I learned that no fighting just means no one cares enough to be angry. Mark was a good man. He fixed the sink when it leaked. He remembered to buy milk. But he had these walls around his heart. Big, invisible walls. He never talked about the future. If I said, "What about next summer?" he would say, "Let's see what happens." If I said, "Do you want kids someday?" he would get quiet. Then he would change the topic to traffic or his boss or the weather. So I stopped asking. I told myself I was fine. I told myself I didn't need a big love story. I was a practical woman. I wore practical shoes. I had a practical haircut. I was fine. Then I started to feel strange. Not sick exactly. Just different. The smell of coffee made me want to run out of the room. I used to love coffee. I loved the dark, bitter smell of it in the morning. But now, even the sight of the coffee machine made my stomach flip upside down. I thought I had a flu. A long, annoying flu. I was tired. Not the normal, I need more sleep tired. This was a deep tired. A tired that lived in my bones. I remember lying on the bathroom floor one morning because the tiles were cool and I didn't have the energy to stand up. Mark stepped over me on his way to the shower. He didn't ask why I was on the floor. He just said, "You should go to bed earlier." I laughed. But it was a sad laugh. Because I realized he didn't see me. He saw a body on the floor, but he didn't see the worry in my eyes. A week passed. My best friend, Sarah, came over. She walked in, took one look at me, and said, "You look like a potato that forgot to grow." "Thanks, Sarah," I said. "You really know how to make a girl feel special." She handed me a small white bag from the drugstore. Inside was a pregnancy test. I looked at it like it was a snake. "No," I said. "That's not possible." "Why not?" she asked. "Do you not do the thing?" I laughed for real this time. "We do the thing. But no, we are careful. Mostly careful." "Mostly careful is like being mostly pregnant," she said. "Just take the test. For my peace of mind." "You look green, Julie. Actual green." So I took the test. I locked the bathroom door. I sat on the edge of the cold bathtub. My hands were shaking. I didn't know why I was so nervous. I wasn't someone who dreamed of babies. I didn't look at strollers in the park. I didn't have names picked out. But my heart was beating very fast. I waited. 3 minutes. It felt like 3 years. I looked at the stick. 2 lines. 2 pink lines. I stared at them. I turned the stick upside down. I shook it. I said out loud, "This is a joke." But the lines did not disappear. They were clear, bright, screaming at me. My hands started to shake more. My brain tried to find a mistake. Maybe the test was old. Maybe I did it wrong. Maybe I had a disease that looked like pregnancy. I know that sounds silly, but the brain tries to protect you. It tries to find a door to escape through. I opened the bathroom door. Sarah was standing there with her arms crossed. She looked at my face. Then she knew. "Oh, honey," she said. I started to cry. Not happy tears. Not sad tears. Just big, scared tears. The kind that come from a place you didn't know existed. "I can't have a baby," I whispered. "I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I have a fish. That's the only life I keep alive. And even the fish looks tired." Sarah hugged me. "You're not alone." "But Mark," I said. "Mark doesn't want this. He never talks about this. He looks away when a baby cries in a restaurant. He changes the channel when there's a diaper commercial." Sarah was quiet. That's how I knew she agreed with me. That night, I cooked Mark's favorite dinner. Spaghetti with meatballs. I lit a candle. I even put on a clean shirt. Mark walked in, dropped his bag, and said, "What's the occasion? Did someone die?" "No," I said. "Sit down. I need to talk to you." He sat. He looked nervous. Men always look nervous when you say, "We need to talk." He started eating quickly, like food was a shield. I took a deep breath. "Mark, I'm pregnant." The room got very quiet. The kind of quiet that hurts your ears. Mark stopped chewing. His fork was in the air, halfway to his mouth. A piece of spaghetti fell off and landed on the table. Neither of us moved to clean it up. "What?" he said. His voice was flat. Not angry, not happy, just flat. "Pregnant," I said again. "With a baby. A tiny human. Inside me." He put the fork down. He wiped his mouth with a napkin very slowly. Then he said the words that broke my heart into 1,000 little pieces. "Are you sure it's mine?" I felt like he had slapped me. No, a slap would have been better. A slap is quick. This was slow poison. "What?" I whispered. "I didn't mean," he started. "You didn't mean to ask if I was cheating on you?" I stood up. My chair fell backwards. "You didn't mean to say the most insulting thing a man can say to a woman?" Mark stood up too. He raised his hands like he was stopping traffic. "I'm just surprised. We are careful. You said you didn't want kids. You said it was fine." I said it was fine because you never wanted to talk about it. My voice was shaking. "I swallowed my dreams for you, Mark. I ate my silence for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And now you ask if it's yours." He turned away from me. He looked out the window. The neighbors were watering their garden. So normal. So peaceful. And my life was breaking. "I'm not ready for this," he said quietly. "Nobody is ready," I said. "Ready is a lie. You just decide." He shook his head. "I can't. Julie, I can't be a father. I don't know how. My own father left when I was 5. I don't know the first thing about being a dad." For a second, I felt sorry for him. That old wound. That little boy waiting for a father who never came back. But then I looked down at my own flat stomach. And I felt something. Not a kick. Not a flutter. Just a presence. A knowing. A tiny spark of life that said, "I am here. And I will not be ignored." "I'm keeping the baby," I said. The words came out of my mouth before my brain approved them. But they were true. I felt the truth in my chest. Mark turned around. His eyes were wet. "Then I don't know if I can stay." There it was. The end. Or what felt like the end. He packed a bag. Not a big bag. Just a small backpack. He put a toothbrush, a charger, and a pair of socks inside. Watching him pack was watching someone erase himself from a painting. First his shoes by the door. Gone. Then his coffee mug. Gone. Then his stupid superhero towel. Gone. He paused at the door. He looked at me. I was standing in the middle of the living room, my arms wrapped around my own body. I was holding myself together like a cheap suitcase. "I'm sorry, Julie," he said. Then he walked out. The door closed. Click. I stood there for a long time. The spaghetti got cold. The candle burned down to nothing. And I was alone. I sat on the floor. I put my hand on my belly. My belly was still flat. Still normal. But I knew. Something was different. "Okay," I whispered to the baby. "It's just you and me now." I laughed a little. A weird, broken laugh. "I hope you like cereal out of a mug. Because that's all I know how to make." I didn't sleep that night. I sat by the window and watched the sky turn from black to blue to pink. I thought about my mother. She had raised me alone. My father left before I was born. I never met him. I never even saw a picture. My mother worked 2 jobs. She was tired all the time, but she never complained. She used to say, "Julie, love is not a feeling. Love is a choice you make every morning when you get out of bed." I didn't know if I was strong like her. I didn't know if I could do it. But I also didn't have a choice now. The baby was coming, whether I was ready or not. The next few weeks were a blur of morning sickness and loneliness. Morning sickness is a lie. It happens all day. I threw up in the sink. I threw up in a plant pot at work. I threw up in a parking lot while a man stared at me like I was a circus animal. I told my boss at the flower shop. Her name is Rosa. Rosa is 60 years old. She has 7 children. She has seen everything. You're having a baby, she said. Congratulations. I'm having a baby alone, I said. Rosa shrugged. Alone is just a word. You have me. You have Sarah. You have your 2 hands. That's enough. I wanted to believe her. But at night, in my quiet apartment, the walls felt too close. I missed Mark. Not the Mark who left. The Mark from the beginning. The Mark who held my hand in the movie theater. The Mark who bought me soup when I had a cold. The Mark who said, I love you, like it meant something. Where did that Mark go? Did he disappear slowly, like fog in the sun? Or was he never real at all? One night, about 3 weeks after he left, I found an old video on my phone. It was from 2 years ago. We were at the beach. Mark was laughing. Really laughing. His head was thrown back. His eyes were closed. The sun was on his face. He looked happy. He looked free. I watched that video 12 times. Then I threw my phone across the room. It hit the wall and fell on the carpet. I didn't check if it was broken. Stop it, I told myself. He chose to leave. Remember that. He chose to leave you and the baby. But my heart didn't listen. My heart kept playing the old songs. Then something happened. Something small but important. I was at the grocery store. I was buying crackers because crackers were the only food that didn't make me sick. I was standing in the aisle, trying to decide between saltines and wheat thins. Such a silly decision. But everything felt hard then. A little girl walked past me. She was maybe 3 years old. She was holding her mother's hand. She looked up at me and smiled. A big, toothy, silly smile. Then she pointed at my stomach and said, baby. Her mother got embarrassed. Oh, I'm so sorry. She says that to everyone with a belly. It's okay, I said. She's right. The little girl waved at me. Then she skipped away. I stood there in the cracker aisle. And for the first time since the 2 pink lines, I felt something other than fear. I felt a tiny, fragile flower of excitement. A baby. A real baby. With little fingers and little toes. A person who would wave at strangers in grocery stores. Maybe this wasn't the end of my life. Maybe this was the beginning of a different one. I bought the saltines. And a small stuffed rabbit. It was yellow and soft. I took it home. I put it on my bed. I talked to my belly. I got you a friend, I said. His name is... I don't know yet. We'll figure it out together. That was the night I decided to stop waiting for Mark to come back. I decided to build a life for 2 people. Me and the tiny stranger. But life, as I was learning, does not care about your plans. I was 5 months pregnant when I saw him again. My belly was no longer flat. It was round and hard, like a small watermelon stuck under my shirt. I had to wear elastic pants. I had to sleep with 3 pillows. I talked to the baby constantly. I named her in my head. I didn't know if it was a girl, but I called her Lily. Because lilies are strong. They grow from bulbs in the dark dirt. And they come up beautiful. I was at the park. It was a Sunday. The sun was warm but not hot. I was sitting on a bench, eating an apple, watching a dog chase its own tail. Simple joy. The kind of joy you forget to notice when your life is full of noise. Then a shadow fell over me. I looked up. Mark. He looked different. Thinner. His eyes had dark circles. His hair was longer, messy. He was holding a paper cup of coffee. He looked at my belly. His mouth opened. Then closed. Then opened again. Hi, he said. His voice was rough. Like he hadn't used it in days. Hi, I said. I didn't smile. I didn't move. I just looked at him. Can I sit? He asked. It's a free country, I said. But my heart was beating very fast. Traitor heart. He sat on the other end of the bench. He put the coffee down between us like a tiny wall. You look, he started. Pregnant. I said. Yes. That tends to happen. He nodded. He stared at my belly. Then he looked away. Then back again. Like he couldn't believe it. I'm sorry, he said. For what exactly? I asked. For leaving? For asking if the baby was yours? For not calling once in 3 months? Be specific. He winced. All of it. Every single part. I took a bite of my apple. I chewed slowly. I let him wait. I was scared, he said. I am scared. I ran. That's what I do. My dad ran. So I ran. It's in my blood. That's an excuse, I said. Running is a choice. Just like staying is a choice. He nodded again. I know. I went to therapy. 3 times a week. I've been going since I left. That surprised me. Mark didn't believe in therapy. He used to say, "Why pay a stranger to listen to my problems when I can just ignore them for free?" Therapy, I said. You? Yeah, he said. I had to. I couldn't sleep. I kept dreaming about a little boy with my face, crying in a room alone. I kept seeing you on the bathroom floor. Remember? That morning? You were lying on the tiles. And I stepped over you. I stepped over you, Julie. What kind of man does that? His voice broke. He put his face in his hands. I didn't touch him. I wanted to, but I remembered the door closing. I remembered packing his socks. I remembered the 2 pink lines and the silence. Why are you here, Mark? I asked softly. He lifted his head. His eyes were red. Because I want to try. I want to be better. I know I don't deserve a second chance. But I'm asking for one anyway. The baby kicked. Hard. Right in my ribs. I gasped and put my hand on my belly. Mark saw it. His whole body went still. Was that? She's active today, I said. She? His voice was a whisper. I don't know for sure, I said. But I call her Lily. Mark reached out his hand. He stopped halfway. He looked at me, asking permission with his eyes. I thought about saying no. I thought about getting up and walking away. I thought about all the nights I cried into my pillow. I thought about the grocery store, buying crackers for one. I thought about the yellow rabbit on my bed. But I also thought about the beach video. About his laugh. About the man who held my hand and meant it. About the little boy inside him who never had a father. Slowly, I said. He put his hand on my belly. Gentle. So gentle. Like he was touching a butterfly. The baby kicked again. Right under his palm. Mark laughed. A real laugh. Surprised and wet and broken. She's strong. She gets it from me, I said. He didn't take his hand away. We sat like that for a long time. The dog stopped chasing its tail. The sun moved behind a cloud. The park got quieter. I don't trust you, I said finally. Not yet. Trust is not a light switch. You don't just flip it on because you said sorry. I know, he said. I'm not going to make it easy for you, I said. If you want to be in her life, you have to prove it. Every day. For a long time. I know, he said again. And if you leave again, I said, don't come back. I mean it, Mark. I won't let you break her heart the way your father broke yours. He pulled his hand away. He looked at me. Really looked at me. Not through me. Not past me. At me. I won't, he said. I promise. Promises are easy. Promises are just air-shaped like words. But something in his eyes was different. The walls were still there. But there was a crack. A small one. And light was coming through. We started slow. Very slow. He came over for dinner. But he cooked. I sat on the couch and watched him burn the chicken. I laughed. He laughed. It was awkward. 2 strangers learning to share a kitchen again. He came to my doctor's appointments. The first time, he held my hand during the ultrasound. The screen showed a tiny shape. A head. A body. Little fingers waving. The doctor said, "It's a girl." I cried. Mark cried too. We didn't hold each other. But we cried in the same direction. He brought gifts. Too many gifts. A crib. A stroller. Tiny shoes that looked like mouse ears. I said, "You don't have to buy love." He said, "I know. I'm buying hope." I let him sleep on the couch. Not in my bed. The couch. It was old and lumpy. He didn't complain. Every morning, he made me breakfast. Eggs. Toast. Orange juice. He burned the toast every single time. I ate it anyway. Burnt toast tastes like effort. Sarah was worried. She came over one evening. Mark was out buying diapers. Yes, he was buying diapers before the baby was even born. That's how hard he was trying. Are you sure about this? Sarah asked. She was sitting on my bed, holding the yellow rabbit. He left you, Julie. He left you pregnant and alone. I remember, I said. People don't change, she said. Not really. They just get better at pretending. Maybe, I said. But I have to try. For Lily. She deserves a father who wants her. And if he leaves again, at least she'll know I gave him a chance. Sarah sighed. She handed me the rabbit. You're braver than me. Or stupider, I said. We'll find out. The due date was close. I was huge. I couldn't see my feet. I waddled like a penguin. Mark thought it was funny. He called me Waddles. I threw a pillow at his head. He caught it. We both laughed. And for 1 second, it felt like before. Like the old love. The easy love. The love before the cracks. But the cracks were still there. I didn't forget. I couldn't forget. One night, I woke up in pain. Not the small practice pains. Real pain. Deep and squeezing. I looked at the clock. 3 a.m. I tried to breathe. The pain got worse. It wrapped around my back like a belt made of fire. Mark, I screamed. He ran in from the couch. His hair was standing up. He was wearing his childhood pajamas with the superheroes on them. He looked terrified. What? What is it? The baby, I said. She's coming. Now. His eyes went wide. Now? Like, now. Yes, you idiot. Call the ambulance. He fumbled with his phone. He dropped it twice. I have never seen a man look so useless and so scared at the same time. It was almost funny. Almost. The ambulance came. The paramedics were calm. They asked questions. I couldn't answer. The pain was a wave. A huge, dark wave. It crashed over me and pulled me under. Mark held my hand in the ambulance. He didn't let go. Not once. Even when I squeezed so hard, I thought I might break his fingers. You're doing great, he said. You're so strong, Julie. So strong. Shut up, I said. Shut up and breathe with me. He breathed with me. In and out. In and out. His eyes locked on mine. The hospital was bright and loud. Nurses ran. A doctor with kind eyes said, "You're almost there." I didn't feel almost there. I felt like I was dying. Like my body was splitting open to make room for a miracle. And then at 7:43 a.m., a sound. A cry. The most beautiful sound I had ever heard. Lily. She was small. Red. Wrinkled. Angry at the world for making her cold. The nurse placed her on my chest. She weighed almost nothing. But she was everything. I looked at her tiny face. Her tiny nose. Her tiny hands curled into fists. "Hi, Lily," I whispered. "I'm your mom." I cried. The nurses cried. Even the doctor's eyes were wet. Then I looked for Mark. He was standing in the corner of the room. His face was wet with tears. He wasn't moving. He was just staring at Lily like she was a star that fell out of the sky. "Come here," I said. He walked slowly. He looked at Lily, then at me, then at Lily again. "Can I?" he asked. I lifted Lily slightly. Mark put his finger near her hand. She grabbed it. Her tiny fingers wrapped around his one finger and held on. Mark fell to his knees beside the bed. He put his head on the mattress. His shoulders shook. He was crying. Not quiet tears. Loud, ugly, healing tears. "I'm so sorry," he said to Lily. "I'm so sorry, I almost missed this." I put my hand on his head. "You're here now," I said. "That's what matters." The days after were a blur of no sleep and too much love. Lily was a hungry baby. She cried a lot. She pooped a lot. She looked at me with these big, dark eyes that seemed to see right through to my soul. Mark stayed. He slept on a chair in the hospital room. He learned to change diapers. He was bad at it. The diaper always leaked. But he kept trying. We brought Lily home. The apartment felt different. Bigger. Brighter. There were baby bottles on the counter and tiny socks on the floor. The yellow rabbit sat in the crib, watching over her. One night, when Lily was 2 weeks old, Mark and I were sitting on the couch. Lily was asleep on my chest. The apartment was quiet. Mark was looking at us. Just looking. "Julie," he said. "What?" I said. "I love you," he said. "Not the old way. A new way. A way that knows how much I hurt you. A way that knows I don't deserve you. I love you anyway. And I love her more than I knew I could love anything. I looked at him. The walls were still there, but they were smaller now. Cracks everywhere. Light pouring through. I'm still scared, I said. Every day, I'm scared you'll leave. I'm scared too, he said. But I'm more scared of losing this. Of losing you. Of losing her. I took a deep breath. Then stay. Stay and prove it. He moved closer. He put his arm around me. He touched Lily's tiny head with his other hand. I'm not going anywhere, he said. It wasn't a fairy tale. Fairy tales are for people who have never been broken. This was real. Messy. Complicated. Two broken people trying to build a home from the pieces. And maybe that was enough. Lily is 1 year old now. She walks. She falls. She gets up. She walks again. She has her father's laugh and my stubbornness. She is a miracle made of noise and chaos and love. Mark and I are not perfect. We still fight. We still have hard days. But we don't leave. We stay. We talk. We try. I still have the 2 pink lines. I kept the test. I keep it in a box with Lily's first shoes and the yellow rabbit. It reminds me that the scariest moments are often the ones that save you. A surprise pregnancy changed everything. It broke us. Then it forced us to rebuild. Brick by brick. Apology by apology. Burnt toast by burnt toast. I am Julie. I am a mother. I am a woman who learned that love is not a feeling. It is a choice. A choice you make every morning. Even when you're tired. Even when you're scared. Even when the toast is burnt. And that, my friends, is a story worth telling.